All right, welcome back. 5.2, multiplying polynomials. Like this lesson. This one gets me a little fired up. So when you're multiplying polynomials, it's all the same no matter what the size is. It's the same process all the time. You're distributing is what you're doing. You're multiplying each term to each term. So let me read it. Write this down. Multiply each term of the first polynomial to each term of the second polynomial. And mathematically what we're doing is distributing, right? So back to that notation we saw. When you see fg of x in algebra, anytime two letters are right next to each other, that means multiply. So what that is telling you to do is multiply f times g of the x function. So all that means is 2x plus 1 times 3x minus 5, okay? So we're gonna take this 2x and we're gonna distribute it to the 3x. 2 times 3 is 6, and x times x is x squared, so we get 6x squared. And then 2x times negative 5, well, that would be minus 10x. And then we're going to take the second term in the first binomial, the 1, multiply it to the 3, so that would be plus 3x. And then 1 times the negative 5 would be minus 5. Okay? And then we're going to combine like terms. The negative 10x and the 3x are like terms. We can combine those. So I have 6x squared minus 7x, and then minus 5, okay? So you might have heard this called FOIL before, right? Well, I don't like that. I mean, do you know why it's called FOIL? Some of you do, some of you probably don't. But if you really understand it, I hope you don't like it either. I wish we would stop calling it that. Let me explain to you what FOIL is and why I don't like it. It's not really what you're doing. What you're doing is you're multiplying, right? You're multiplying, that's the operation we're doing. Distributing. So let me tell you what FOIL stands for, just in case you don't remember. I've had students, and don't feel bad if this is you, because every year I get them, that think that the process of what we're doing is foiling this. That's not what we're doing. We're multiplying it or we're distributing it. FOIL is an acronym. It stands for first. So it's to help you say, well, these two are the first terms. We multiply the first terms first. And then outer. So then you look at the outer terms, which are 2x and negative 5. And then you would multiply the outer terms first, right? And then I is for inner. So the inner terms would be the 1 and the 3. And then last is for the last terms, 1, negative 5. So it's just a misconception. It's an acronym to make sure you multiply each term to each term. I don't like it though, because it's not what we're doing. And when you get to like real polynomials that you're going to multiply, when you get further along in math, like we're going to do this next one right here. Let's say I've got 2x plus 3 times 2x squared minus x minus 1. Well, when they both have a first term, I guess they both have a outer term, I suppose. Maybe they both have an inner term and they both have a last term, but then this term doesn't ever get multiplied. So this would only apply to multiplying a binomial to a binomial, when essentially what you're doing is distributing, and if you just make sure you distribute every term to every term, so this 2x has to be multiplied by here, here, and here. So as long as, and the 3 has to be multiplied by this term, and this term, you don't need a silly acronym. I tried to come up with an acronym for when you multiply a 2 term, a binomial by a trinomial. So it could be first, outer, inner, last, but then you would have to go first middle, so we'll call it FM, and then last middle, LM. So our acronym would be foilifimilum. And then if you do a trinomial times a trinomial, it'd be folifimilum. I just am not a big fan. I wish we would get away from calling it foil. I just think you guys are better than that. Okay? Sorry, I'll get off my soapbox now. All right, but let's distribute, let's multiply. Remember, it's just each term to each term. So I'm going to take the 2x, I'm going to multiply it to all three of these terms. So 2x times 2x squared is 4x to the third. 2x times negative x is negative 2x squared. 3 times 2x squared is plus 6x squared. You can make these little arrows if they help you. If they don't help you, you don't have to. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I almost forgot. So I did 2x times 2x squared is 4x cubed. 2x times negative x is negative. I almost forgot the 1 here. So I have the minus 2x. I apologize for that. Good thing I did the arrows. The arrow reminded me that I missed one. So now I have the 3 times each term. 3 times 2x squared is plus 6x squared. Okay? 3 times negative x is minus 3x. 3 times negative 1 is minus 3. So another trick that you can use to make sure that you don't miss out on a term. So this is a binomial, or 2 terms, and this is a trinomial times 3 terms. So before I simplify, or before I combine like terms, to make sure that you didn't miss anything, you should have 6 terms before you combine them. Because 2 terms being multiplied by 3 terms gives you 6 terms, okay? So we have 4x cubed, and then negative 2x squared plus 6x squared is plus 4x squared. Cross them out as we go. Negative 2x minus 3x is minus 5x. And then we have minus 3. What do you think? Not too bad, right? All right. I have 2 more examples I want to try. One of them is just, we're going to do, it's not very tough, but it's the most misdone, biggest misconception, errors all over the place. And I'm not mad at you for it. It's just, you know, it may just never have gotten enough attention, but it's something we have to talk about. It's when you see this x plus 3 in parentheses squared. Okay, so I'm going to let you try that. I also have this one here. This is going to be like a spice level 9. But we're going to go, let's do x minus y minus z. Okay, and then we're going to multiply that by x plus y plus z. You think you can get this one done by foiling? I don't think so. You're distributing is what you're doing. To say that you foil this would be like wrong, and I don't want you guys to be wrong. Okay, try both of these. Try both of these. And give you some time. I'm going to push pause, but in real life, I'm just going to go back right now. So this one, and I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you if you did it. But if you did it, let's acknowledge it and never do it again. Did anybody say that this was x squared plus 9? If you did the most common mistake ever. I want to point it out just so that you know it's not the right thing to do. And math teachers, they write tests and they know that you make that mistake a lot. So on multiple choice tests, they'll purposely put that as one of the answers that you would choose. So you got to correct that. To square something means to multiply it by itself, right? So to square x plus 3, you have to do x plus 3 times x plus 3, right? And then you gotta do x times x and x times 3. So x times x first would be x squared, and then x times 3 would be plus 3x. Now 3 times x is plus 3x, and 3 times 3 is plus 9. And then you combine this term and that term, and you get x squared plus 6x plus 9. Okay. Now I want you to try this one here, this one here. Gosh, this one's tough. Here's what I recommend here. Again, I tell you not to be afraid of these brackets. They're just like outer parentheses, right? But for some reason, my students are always scared of them. Don't be scared of them. They're just another set of parentheses. The reason that they use a bracket is to let you know that this opening parenthesis goes with this closing parenthesis. And this opening parenthesis goes with this. It's just a form of organizing parentheses, okay? But we want to combine everything within the bracket that we can. So I'm gonna rewrite this as x, and then all of this is being subtracted. So that would be minus y, and it would be minus negative z. Okay, minus negative z. So minus negative z is really plus z. So if you don't have that there, that's gonna cause a lot of potential mistakes there. Now, this is all positive, plus x plus y plus z, so nothing's gonna change. So I can just rewrite this as x plus y plus z. So what this is saying here is it wants you to add y plus z first, that's what these, but you really can't, right? So then the next thing you would do is add x, so nothing's changing here. It's saying subtract y minus z, but they're not like terms. But since both y and z are being subtracted inside of these parentheses, you have to subtract the y and you have to subtract the negative z, making this plus z. You can understand that. The rest of this is not that bad as long as you stay very organized. So the first thing we're gonna do is multiply the x times all three of these terms. Watch how I keep it nice and organized. So x times x is x squared, and x times y is plus xy, and x times z is plus xz. Now the negative y. Negative y times x is minus xy. Negative y times y is minus y squared. Negative y times z is minus yz. So you could call it zy, you could call it yz, you could call this one zx, but the rule of thumb is to keep it alphabetical. And what that does, the advantage of that is, there's no difference between yz and zy, they're the same thing. But the advantage of keeping it alphabetical is it's easier to spot like terms because the letters will be in the same order. Now I have to take the z and multiply it to all three terms. So then I would have xz plus xz plus yz plus z squared. Okay, so now we're at the point where we can combine like terms. This one's gonna be cool because a lot of things are gonna cancel. Look, this positive xy cancels out this negative xy. This negative yz cancels out the positive yz. So I'm left with x squared. I have an xz plus xz, so that would be plus 2xz. So that takes care of those terms. I took care of the x squared. Now I have minus y squared and plus z squared. If you have it in a different order, that's fine. As long as your signs are right. So if the y squared is negative and the z squared is positive, this term, the 2xz is positive and the x squared is positive. That matters. The order doesn't really matter. Typically, we like to keep it alphabetically and by largest degree. So I did the x squared first with the xz second alphabetically, and then the y squared and the z squared. Okay. All right. That's multiplying 5.2. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you for your hard work. I'll see you in the next video.